After Biden came to power and he abandoned Trump's unilateralism, many people believe multilateralism will resume globalization, will resume China-U.S. bilateral relations. Unfortunately, all of these predictions was failed, and they are beaten by the fact. And when Biden adopted this club of bilateralism, and deglobalization continued, and the China-U.S. bilateral relationship continued to deteriorate. And so that's why people start rethinking about, and why multilateralism no longer play the traditional role we're familiar with. Actually, I think at this moment, and at this conference, many people discuss about it. They are not so sure about the function of multilateralism. They are not so sure about we can rely on multilateralism to solve all problems. So in that way, and there's a debate among the participants of the World Peace Forum, is already beyond the differences between China and the U.S., not only the definition of the multilateralism, or what is the true multilateralism. Actually, they're talking about the mechanism of multilateralism, the relationship between multilateralism and regionalism and globalism. So people try to understand what's the relations between these different concepts and mechanisms.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi also repeated this in his keynote speech on Saturday as China advocates the true multilateralism. What does that mean, and how would it affect the world?
Okay. Although academically and the definition of multilateralism is very complicated, actually in the reality or the core difference between China and the U.S. is not that complicated. When China uses the term multilateralism, it means cooperation. And when U.S. uses the term multilateralism, it means cooperate with some country against the other group of country or another country. So when the U.S. uses the term multilateralism, it including the concept of competition. But for the Chinese side, when they use the term multilateralism, it means cooperation only, without competition or confrontation. So that's a fundamental difference. I found that many writings and reports said, hey, this joint statement meaningless, it's not important. Actually, to myself, I think it's crucial. It's very, very important to U.S. and Russia relations. The reason is very simple. This joint statement draws the bottom line. That means U.S. and Russia use this joint statement to prevent their deteriorated relationship go down to the disaster. That means prevent their confrontation from escalating into a war and then escalating into the nuclear war. We should consider whether China and the U.S. need something similar like that. And by now, no one can see the bottom line of the deterioration of China-U.S. relations. And how can we draw a bottom line? How can we prevent China-U.S. competition escalating into war? This is a very, very crucial and realistic issue we have to face. So pragmatically, I would suggest that, and China and the U.S. should discuss about the character or nature of our bilateral relationship, because Russia and the U.S. have a shared view about the relationship. And if China and the U.S. cannot reach an agreement to define our bilateral relationship, and it seems to me it's very difficult to prevent the current deterioration of our relationship from stop. Nowadays, both sides seem to me don't worry about the competition that much. That means neither side worry about the competition will escalating into war. And when they do not have the fear of the danger of war, and neither side will be very cautious about their behavior, and neither side will take a cautious policy toward the other side. So from my understanding, both China and the U.S. really gave a serious consideration about the danger of escalation of conflicts to military clashes.